Back 9:45 on the East Coast. The 88th Annual Academy Awards on the West Coast are tonight. But the backlash leading up to the Oscars over too many white actors nominated this year has been growing for weeks. Reverend Al Sharpton now announcing that he is going to be leading a protest in Hollywood ahead of the show. More protests are planned around the country. Does he have a legit cause, or is he, some suggest fanning the flames? Here now to debate is partner at Freethink Media, Kmele Foster, and Democratic strategist Brian Benjamin. Good to have you guys here.
Good morning.
All right. So, Brian, we're going to start with you.
Sure.
Let's talk about this. Al Sharpton likes to get kind of in the mix. We all know that. Do you think that this is a legitimate cause that he's doing, or is he just trying to do this for, attention?
I think it's for both. I think it's a legitimate cause, and we've talked about this before. The Oscars really needs to increase their diversity. They have done so. The Academy has responded in a good way, but there's still more that needs to be done. The studios, even Harvey Weinstein admits, they need to do a better job of producing more films that are diverse.
Kmele, what do you think?
Well, obviously there's a great deal of concern out there, but quite frankly, when I look at the actual outcomes of the Academy Award races over the past couple of years, particularly since 2000, blacks have been incredibly well represented. In fact, demographically speaking, they are overrepresented in some nominating categories. There are folks like Will Smith, for example, who will be sitting this one out, who in past years has been nominated twice, which is far more than most actors in Hollywood. I get the concern, I understand it, but we ought to be asking questions to folks who are upset. How many nominations would you prefer to have over the course of, say, the last decade? What is fair? Is it fair to be demographically represented? Should you be represented to a degree that is twice your share of the population? This is supposed to be a meritocratic competition where people are asked who is the best actor in any particular year. This isn't a Benetton ad.
All right.
Right, but
go ahead.
Real quick, but there is something to be said for who is deciding, and we've talked about this before.
We have talked about this before.
The Academy needs to be more diverse. Even the Academy acknowledges this, and I'm not sure why you keep fighting this point.
I'm fine.
Let me finish my point. The Academy has acknowledged that they need to be more diverse. They have made those steps to do so, and so I think they should be commended for that. However, it's important to note that if you don't have a group of diverse people making these decisions, it's not necessarily fair for anybody.
We have grown
in the last 30, 40 years.
I want to get your take very quickly on Chris Rock, how you think he's going to handle things tonight, the hosting duties. And Kmele, let's start with you.
Yeah, I expect that Chris is going to do quite a bit of lampooning of both sides, but I suspect he'll also be towing what is the standard line at this point, that there does need to be greater diversity. The real question is, what do we mean when we say diversity? Is it just the way people look, or is it something else altogether? The bottom line is that there is a great deal of diversity in terms of the nominations themselves, and if there wasn't actually a problem, if they were nominating a diverse group of people, I don't quite understand why we pretend that there seems to be.
Let's get a final comment from Brian.
Sure. I think that I agree he's going to lampoon both sides, but I think he's also going to raise awareness around what's happening in Flint. Ava DuVernay and Coogler and others are going down there and bringing up issues about lead and water. This is a big issue in the American community, and we need to focus on this, and I think he's going to bring that up as well.
All right. We're going to leave it at that. Kmele, thank you very much for joining us. Brian over there in the studio, thanks very much for joining us.